injuries for like 3 or 4 months.
And I don't even know when we play him next, or if we even play him again. So I don't really, I guess I don't really look at it that way. I just look at this as the next one, and I know we played him a lot, but I don't even know. I'm assuming we have one more. I promise you, I didn't even know that. I just know this is the next one, and we gotta lace him up and play him,
Coach, back here. No, back here. Right.
Oh.
Gotcha. All right, 2 quick ones for you. One, Keon going to be available tonight. How do you approach the backup point guard position in terms of the minutes going to be played between Keon and Davion? And then on the flip side, Keegan not available tonight. How do you stop Steph, especially like he's the main guy that's been on him for the past 2 games that you've played so far this season?
Keon's available, right? Okay. It's good Keon's coming back. And Davion's gonna get the first crack at it. Keon may play, I don't know, he just gotta keep himself ready. And then what'd you say about Keegan?
Keegan, since he's not playing, he's
Yeah.
gonna be guarding Steph tonight, since he's been the main guy for the first 2 games.
Dang, who was the spy before? He had a new spy, it was you. I bet if I tell you, Steve might be listening. I know Steve. He sits back in the back and he listens to opposing coaches press conference. And if I tell you now, he's going to have a game plan. But no, you're not stopping Steph. Keegan didn't stop Steph. If you can, you want to try to put length on Steph just so that hopefully, you bring us across, pray to God, that whatever you need to do, hopefully he works a little harder. But we're not stopping Steph. And we'll throw multiple bodies at him and see what happens.
Mike, I know you talked about the in-season tournament before and how much fun it is and the dynamic of it. A lot is being made of this game and how thrilled the NBA must be for a playoff rematch between these 2 teams with something on the line more than just a regular season game in November. I'm curious if you had any perspective on that. I'm sure you take every single game seriously, but for this one having in-season tournament implications on top of it this early in the season, if that's a big deal, you think, to you guys?
Yeah, the NBA has done a great job marketing the in-season tournament. Yeah, we do try to win every game, but when with the court being different, I'm not a jersey guy, so I don't really recognize the different jerseys, but I definitely see the court, and it feels different because of the court. Obviously, there's a lot more talk about it. And the NBA's tried to do some things like having the Final Four, in Vegas and stuff like that. So I think it's a neat deal, and the NBA's done a fantastic job with it, and it's a lot of fun. And I know our last game against Minnesota, I don't know if I've been part of an NBA game where both teams were trying to score, not necessarily to win the game because the game was out of reach in the last 20 seconds, but to score just because of the point differential, And so there is a heightened awareness by everybody. We address it all the time with our guys in a fun way and a serious way, and it's neat that especially you guys in the media and the fans can really feel something like this at this point in the season. But for us, I know for me, every game we try to win and win it the right way. So from that standpoint, it's like we didn't have an extra long practice or focus this much harder than that, but we do want to win.
Sorry, Coach, it's not for the game the question. I'm from Athens, Greece. I would like a comment about Filip Petrusev that will play for Olympiacos in Europe.
Yeah, I think, he wasn't with us long, but I think you guys are getting a young player that seems like he's got a lot of experience. He played on the Serbian national team, playing a lot of big games. Obviously, he's had his opportunity in the NBA with a couple of different teams, and he has some skill to him. I think he's going to do. I think he's going to do really well over there. I'm excited for him. I'm happy for him. Happy for Olympiacos. They worked with us when it came to bringing Sasha over, and obviously they get a pretty good player from us at this point. So I wish nothing but the best for him and Olympiacos on his journey.
Thank you very much.
Mike, good to see you again. When you study the Warriors, their bench, as you probably know, has outscored opposing benches, I think 15 out of 17 games. They've been very productive. When you study their reserves in preparing for this game, why do you think that is? Is that mostly driven by Chris Paul, or what about that unit has stuck out to you?
Yeah, I mean, Chris is a huge part of it, but in the same breath, Steve, he does a fantastic job in a lot of areas, but especially with his rotations. And so, when you're talking about their bench, it's not like they have 5 subs on the floor. He's going to keep, obviously, Chris Paul will be out there, who's a Hall of Famer. Klay Thompson will probably be out there, who's a Hall of Famer. And even Draymond may be out there, possibly, who's a Hall of Famer. So you have at least 2 Hall of Famers with guys that have been through a championship run. You got some young guys on that team that have been through a championship run, and that's an invaluable experience. So it doesn't surprise me what their bench is able to do, especially with the way that Steve does, the way he does a fantastic job of making sure that he mixes the right talent or the right types of players, 2 Hall of Fame players, with whoever else that's out there. And you can't replace Chris Paul's IQ, feel, and all that other stuff. It's probably second to none. If not, it's up there with the top 3 to 5 players all time in the game. So for me, it's not surprising to see it.
How would you kind of evaluate where you guys are at defensively through 15 games?
I think both defensively and offensively, we're not nowhere near we can be at the end of the day, but we're heading in the right direction. And we've been doing this most of the year. We've taken a couple dips, but I continue to see progress, not just in the games, but in practice and shoot around too when we do stuff. And that's what's exciting to me, because it's not going to be just a steady climb. You're going to take a dip back every once in a while, and so to see us, climbing the right direction 85% of the time is pretty good. 15, 16 games in the season.
Hi, Mike. Given how much you guys have seen the Warriors in the past few months and kind of the results, is there not a psychological barrier, but is there in your mind is there some value to having a psychological breakthrough and kind of showing yourselves that you guys can come out on top and win a big game against this team?
I don't know. In 2005, I was a young head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Washington Wizards, I think led by Gilbert Arenas, they had a really, really good team. They smacked us in the regular season. We lost the series 1-3, and we beat them in the playoffs 4-2. We beat them in 6 games. So some people may say yes. I've experienced it to say no. So I hope we get to win, but in just my opinion, this game is a separate entity in itself. And at the end of the day, if we go 0-4, if we go 2-2, if we go 1-3, if this messes with our psyche, for me, we weren't good enough to do what we started to do anyway, which is try to win a championship. So I don't look at it that way, but some people may.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank y'all.